people need to see what I see. They need to see.
Our family
are the spiritual,
poetesses, poets,
physical
healers,
voyages of the
musicians, co-secretary generals,
co-Starship,
co-Sefirot,
planet Earth,
equinox true cues,
on our and every earth, as our spiritual, genealogical, local, global, universal voyager and shared her and his family community enterprise. Our new millennial year's mission to rediscover and re-understand, sustain, and explore our and all are in fact familiar new worlds of family community, of the tree of love, life, and light throughout the solar system and universe, to restore, renew, and sustain our and new life and new sustainable civilizations, past, present, retroactively, and now, rebalance, and future, always balancing, to lovingly, genealogically, and boldly become and be space-time travelers whenever and where we have interdimensional reality, all in part been before, if also never been before, in alternative space timelines that are circles, which are of the universal EQ, IQ, and SQ continuum, balance, combinations of the ever-expanding circle which spirals and grows, budding and blooming in space-time. Love and live enlightened, ever young, long, and prosper all both in each and every one. Engage your heart, mind, soul, and body, for we all, both and each, both and all, can, must, and marvelously and miraculously make it so.
In the thunderous blast, she merges, her eyes on fire, the mighty priestess. She is risen from the nativity of Calvary. She is risen from the fires of the earth. She is risen. She is risen.
We are risen.
She is risen. She is risen.
We are risen.
We all are risen by my intercession and your cooperation.
Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Om Mahalakshmi Mrudapriya Maharupa Mahapudya Mahapataknashini Mahamaya Mahasattva Mahashakti Maharati Mahabhuta Maheshwarya Mahavidya Mahabala Mahabuddhi Mahasiddhi Mahayogeshwareshwari Mahatantra Mahamantra Mahayantra Mahasana Mahayaga Pramaradhya Om Mahabhairava Pujita Maheshwara Mahakalpana Mahatandava Sakshini Mahadavesha Mahishi Mahatripura Sundari Chatushshashti Upacharagya Chatushshashti Kalamayi Mahachatushshashti Koti Yogini Ganasevita We
pursuing that. That works. I should have said, oh,
We're bringing together poetesses, poets, musicians, healers, all of us as co-secretary generals, co-saviorahs,
the people need to see what I see. They need to see
equinox true cues. We are the openers of the stargate because we know the value of the divine feminine, and that is what humanity has been lacking for thousands of years. We have it back. The goddess is risen.
This day I call the heavens and the earths as witnesses intercessorily for and hopefully and prayerfully not against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose love and life with light, so that you and your children may live. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not our new millennial law.
Okay. I've got a contradiction. maybe made sunflower or killer pea and blackwood. This is Anna Marie, singing Christian, and I am Cherokee, Cheyenne, Alaska, and Algonquin, Quebec. And I am also a French, English, and German. That means we are all related. We embrace the new millennial golden rule as the law of all the natives of the sacred ground that is Mother Earth and all the planets of all the universes.
Welcome to our Starry Hours broadcast from this heart and headquarters of the one family community of love, life in the light of balance of the Co-Federation of Earth and Planets of the New Millennial Golden Rule. The New Millennial Golden Rule is available to you and has been delivered to humanity in great number. We have reached probably millions of people already with the New Millennial Golden Rule. It's at 5050now.wordpress.com. It is, in essence, the key to sustainability on this planet and eternal life among all of our planets of the universe as one family community able to open the stargates, enjoy eternal youthful life, and sustain ourselves without exploitation, waste, worry, or war. It is Atlantis risen. My name is Dr. Estrella Mara Ayama Rajel, one family, Tapao, true equinox, true Q. I am the embodiment of the ancient goddess of Atlantis, Astra, the goddess of divine justice, as well as the fulfillment of modern science fiction that does have to sneeze occasionally. I am a living Ellie, of Ellie Arrowway of contact, except I am Ellie Circle Arrowway. Because I know that we look at our traditional symbols for genders, the circle with the cross underneath it, and the circle with the arrow extending from the upper quadrant, and we must balance them in social interactions and in our institutional and conceptual approaches to our world and universe. The New Millennial Golden Rule makes this possible in an easy way. It's a chocolate pill, a sugar pill, to give to every neighborhood, every community, and every extended family that is represented in the neighborhood, because in fact all humanity is all at most 50th cousina and 50th cousin from everyone else. So when you are with your neighbors, you are actually with your family. And when you are with your family, even if they are at a distance from you, now you can gather over the internet very easily and be a family again, and yet also know that you are neighbors of one planet. One planet. We don't need nations anymore. Ever since we developed a sophisticated internet, we don't need nations anymore. The internet is the biggest family reunion that has ever existed. Everybody on this planet is genealogically related to everybody else. The different languages and the different hues of skin color and the different facial features evolved over numerous migrations over many centuries, but we actually are all derived from a few families that started life on this planet. We are all sister cousines and sister brothers. There is no way around that truth. It's absolutely true. The problem is we don't act like it. We say, I'm French, I'm Russian, I'm American, I'm Canadian, I'm African, I'm Australian, I'm this and I'm that. That may be true, but you started out from the same family. So what you really are is all nativities of one planet. And when you regard yourself as such, you regain your holiness. You stop this mindset of me and them and me, and you understand it's all we. It's all we. It's all we, and you are we, and we are we, and there is nobody that isn't we. We are one family on this planet. And many people have theorized, from ancient Hinduism into modern times of theosophy and other major faiths, that no soul ever dies. The soul is immortal. It goes through stages and journeys throughout the universe. And we know that if we establish parity instead of patriarchy on our planet Earth, we will be able to open the stargates, and our ancestry of previous ages will become risen. And we will be able, as in the film Contact, to meet them again. They will come to us and we will come to them via the stargates. Now, I'm talking about a universal family reunion, and yes, that's going to take a couple of thousand years for you to meet all your various relations. So you know what? You have to be immortal in order to do that. So that's what we're giving you. We're giving you immortality. We're giving you youthful immortality via the new millennial golden rule. But you have to do something. You have to stop thinking that your country is your most important definition of self. You have to stop thinking that your taxes are really necessary now that we have solar energy and you won't have any bills soon. You have to stop thinking of only your language and realize that the internet can translate pages in many, many languages so you can read what people all around the world are thinking. And you also, most importantly, have to stop putting men over women, putting boys over girls. You have to stop that, or you are going to die in your own war and waste and worry, and there will be nothing of a future for you. Now, that is maybe a little bit easier said than done. Patriarchy is an ingrained habit for many, many people. And it isn't only men who get the benefit of it. There's women who think they've gamed patriarchy to make it work for them. They ally themselves with, quote, powerful men. They get men as protectors, and they degrade other women. And they degrade anybody that their protector guy doesn't find useful. That attitude of unkindness is a natural consequence of the unnatural system that patriarchy is. It is an evolving, it is a emerged consequence of patriarchy. If you didn't have patriarchy, everybody would seem like a beloved child to you, and the child of the mother, father, goddess, God. And you would want every person, as my great friend Lynn says, to find their soul purpose and the purpose that Goddess God has given them in this universe to bring light and kindness and beauty and intelligence and exploration and growth and learning to others. But look at what you have on this planet, especially in the United States. A huge proportion of your energy is going into military, maintaining people in barracks, moving them around this place and that place, sending them to war zones, sending them to fight other people that they don't know, that are other children's mothers and mothers, daughters and sons. And all the while, all these people never say the word patriarchy. All this is coming directly out of patriarchy, but all these armies never use the word patriarchy. We are the ugly face of patriarchy. Just look at this, the encounter, at Farpoint encounter of Star Trek episode with the true Qs judging humanity. And you see that the soldier is given the face of an animal. Because a risen human being doesn't need armies. You don't need to fight people. You need to give them light. If you give them light, you don't need to fight them. Our society has been giving everybody dark. You know how they've been doing that? They've been keeping every story about gender parity off the television for 25 years. They've been giving you dark, feeding you dark, distracting you with dark. They give you a token female here and there, Sarah Palin, or dear, I think she can rise out of it, Hillary. These women are being used. And they're willing to be used because they've already been victimized by patriarchy and they can't think straight. So they don't know how to say parity. It doesn't come easy to them. And so they have to load up on the armies. They have to become Iron Maidens. And guess what? It doesn't change anything. And within a short little while, guess who comes back into office? Thump, 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 ape guy. Only, and this time, I have to tell you, that won't work. Because there's going to be a world war. Before that happens, there's going to be a Fukushima and a set of Fukushimas before that happens. And there's going to be volcanic eruptions before that happens. Because Mother Nature and Father Time knows that patriarchy is a done deal. And if you don't know it, then you better catch up to this fast. Turn off your television. Turn off your television until they send you a letter in the mail that says, "Dear viewer of our station, this is Discovery Channel, CNN, Fox, even C-SPAN, even PBS. Dear folks, yes, it is true we kept every story about gender parity away from you for 25 years. Dear folks, it is true that we never talk about balance of love and work. Guess what? We're a bunch of old codgers sitting in boardrooms censoring everybody on our staff. Guess what? We specifically pick bimbo women to be our teleprompter readers so that they don't think straight and they don't notice that they're betraying their own gender." Signed, the former management of these networks. And you know, and then they should have a postscript that says, "We are taking a long sabbatical. We are getting to know our children and our grandchildren, our great and grandchildren and our great and grand nieces and nephews, and all those of their neighborhoods. We are spending time with children because we had a lousy childhood ourselves, and we need to learn something better than just how to push people around and lie to them. That's the truth. So turn off your televisions. That's why we're broadcasting to you. This is the Ellie Arrowway, Circle Arrowway network. This is the Contact network. We, as Ellie in Contact said, is anyone out there listening? Yes, they are. The Akashic record is listening. Goddess God is listening. Listening. You're not listening. You're not coming. That's not okay with Goddess God. It's not okay that you're not coming. I want you to be co-hostesses and co-hosts, and you've been hanging back. That's not okay with Goddess God. It's not okay. You're making yourself big trouble by avoiding sharing the New Millennial Golden Rule, by waiting for some behemoth guy or some paid-off lady token to tell you it's okay. You have to actually think for yourself. You have to actually have this very sophisticated, oh, it's so difficult to see that humanity is at least half female and half male, and that they need to be in partnership when the decisions are made. Wow, that's really a hard concept, isn't it? Well, that's really difficult. You know why it seems difficult? Because for thousands of years you've been living a lie, and your mind is filled with lies. Women are just as good at making decisions. They are better at forecasting the future slightly than men in terms of time and events. Men are slightly better than women in forecasting what is necessary technologically. They are a little bit better than women at that. That's why when they work together, good things happen. You put the time and the space together and you get the opening of stargates. You get longevity, you get eternal life, you get youth, you get health, you get holistic relationship with nature. But when you throw it all to the men, what do you get? Militarism, war, stress, lack of balance of love and work, exploitative use of nature. So you're running after oil and fracking and coal. Then the sun is shining and saying, hey, I'm up here. Why aren't you putting those panels on your roof? That's what you get with men. You get the ignoring of the sun, our nearest star. Women wrote about this in the 70s. They wrote about global warming in the 70s. I have a beautiful website that I was able to find of a graphic that a woman put together showing the world under global warming and saying that as long as you leave this area of decision making to mostly men, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. This was written in the 70s, and nobody paid any attention. Nobody's paying any attention to me either. So you know what? I can't deliver eternal life to you because you're not paying any attention. You didn't pay any attention to Mary of Magdalene and Jesus of Nazareth either. You used them. You pretended you did. You said, oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. You forgot Mariam, yeah. And he wouldn't have, but you did. And you didn't notice their relationship to ancient Atlantis, which was egalitarian. And he had it all together, even more completely worked out than Mariam of Magdalene and Jesus of Nazareth, because the whole society had figured it out until they lost it. Why did they lose it? I'll tell you why. I think that there needs to be a critical balance between female and male in every family interaction and every community interaction. And when women have a negative relationship with each other in some way, something occurs, there is a trajectory that pushes them in the arms of men. Once that occurs, you have patriarchy. And once that becomes habitual, women forget about each other. And they really forget about each other. And they diss each other right and left. And they treat each other like niggers, as John Lennon said. The women treat each other as niggers. And you can see that. Because you can see all of these women, and I did this myself to some extent, but not the way so many of my women friends did. When I attempted a marriage, I never thought I had to give up my women friends. In fact, I thought, how wonderful that I'll be able to have my sisters as well as a husband. All of my Kazina sisters, all of my friends. Well, I learned something. That a lot of the women that I knew who married didn't think that way. Once they got married, they thought, oh, I have my husband, I don't need anybody else. And they dissed their women's friends. And they broke up their relationships. And they competed with each other when they weren't married for this guy or that guy. And they didn't cling to those women's relationships as the goal that they are. And that's because they were living under patriarchy. And in patriarchy, women's work and efforts and dreams are not valued. And they learned to not value each other. As a result, they had lousy marriages that usually wound up with divorces and very unhappy children. Because that's what patriarchy brings us. Egalitarian society, maybe with a slight tick toward the female, is what is sustainable and brings happiness to everyone. And when men get used to this, they become more mellow. They're not as aggressive, that's true. But they don't have to be, because their minds are working better and they're able to do things like the true Q. They don't need a lot of brawn to get things done. It becomes easier. Now, they might enjoy having brawn. They might enjoy doing some sports. They had a lot of sports in Atlantis. They used to do bull jumping. Both the women and the men jumped over bulls. They had very strenuous athletics in Atlantis. But they didn't regard it as domination. It wasn't experienced as domination. It was experienced as sport. It was experienced as fun, not domination. There wasn't a strong effort of winning over someone. There was a strong effort at enjoying with someone. It was a different mode. That mode is sustainable. The domination mode, over time, eats itself up alive like a snake eating its own tail. And we're in that moment now, and it's destroying the world. It's destroying the world. All the blessings that you grew up with, breathable air, drinkable water, healthy vegetation, multiple forms of marvelous, miraculous animal life, are all endangered now. Why? Because the female has been secondary and keeping herself secondary and accepting that position. And it has been inculcated into them very insidiously by the old patriarchs who have put a few women tokens out in front of them and these teleprompter readers that go on, nya, 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 nya. Putin said this, Netanyahu said that, Obama said this, Kim Jong-un said that, Popey said this, he said that, he said this. I'll tell you what he said. I am a teleprompter reader. I look beautiful, but I don't think. And you know what? That's killing the whole world. Those little teleprompter readers are poisoning the entire planet. Turn off television. Go to 5050now.wordpress.com. Read the New Millennial Golden Rule. Read the L even steps underneath. you will become a co-secretary general, co-saviora. You can call into these conferences. We give priorities to women and to youth aged 37 and younger to speak on our conferences. You can call in at 641-715-3580, access code 773342. Our lines are open right now. If you're listening, I'll take a call. I've noticed we've been getting a lot of viewers from around the world, and interestingly enough, a lot from Brazil. And Brazil is in a very interesting place because the Brazilians do worship the goddess in a way that a lot of Western Hemisphere people do not. They have a practice where they go out to the seacoast and worship the goddess Mari or Pachamama, or there's other names for her, Yamaja, Yamoja. And this is the goddess of the waters that they worship. But they do worship a female goddess in large number. Thousands and thousands of people do this. And they also have a woman president. So maybe that part of North America right now is a little bit more ready for the message. I don't know. I found it very interesting. Of course, that's where the Amazon is, and they named that after women too. I am not recommending that women become Amazons. The Amazons really kept men away. I'm not recommending that. I'm recommending Atlantis, where men are included in an egalitarian society. And that is sustainable and the best for everyone. So read that and go to the 5050now.wordpress.com, and you can call us on our subsequent broadcasts. We broadcast every day, at least 5 times a day. We are speaking intercessorily for my own family, dearest family, women who are my sisters, Kozina sisters, and of one another, and their youth, females and males, age 37 and younger, thereabout, as the first co-secretary generals, co-savioras, along with women and men who have already worked on the empowerment of the divine feminine and have come out squarely already for gender parity. And there are such people. There are many such people, but they're not the majority. And the reason they're not the majority is that most of you have been watching television and you don't know that you're being lied to. Turn off the television. Wait till they send you a letter of apology. They've been destroying the world. And we're going to try to enhance our broadcast so that we can reach a larger audience. We've reached already probably millions of people, but it isn't. It's just a dent because we've got billions of people who are being misled. That's why this is the most dangerous moment that has ever happened on Earth. And my own precious family, who are genealogically connected to the most great light givers of every tradition, are so immersed in patriarchy themselves that I have to do all the talking for them, which I don't like, but I am doing it with honor to them. I know that they have this within them. They just haven't quite been able to let go of the need for the father and the distrust of the mother that comes with patriarchy. Because mothers in patriarchy pull their punches. They don't protect their children that well. They give it over to the guy to discipline them, to order them, to push them around. Or if they're single mothers, they often don't yet develop the networks among women that would give their children differentiation, and they wind up in settings like corporations and other settings where the women, even though they are seemingly the home breadwinner, when they go to work, they're a drone. They're not, the eternal feminine is not ruling. It is some guy at the corporate headquarters that's ruling. So we have a lot of that going on in North America, and our women have become very masculinized, very drone-like, and it is an absolute scandal. It stings to highest heaven that the United States of America has no balance of love and work, no paid family leave. It is a true crime, one of the worst crimes that has ever been done toward humanity. We have taken women out of the home, put them in the workplace, and left them without bonding with their children, and their children without bonding to them. Whereas other countries have figured out how to have the best of both worlds, have good multi-year paid family leave, and then allow the woman to bring her gifts into the adult world of productivity and creativity also. We missed it in North America. The reasons are very, very complex. It has to do in part with the size of the land mass here and all the geographical diaspora of women out of their hometowns and home areas where they grew up. But we have to fix it, because we are now raising a generation that is so dumbed down and so easy to dumb down that they can't possibly cope with their world. We have to give them the time with their mothers again, their aunts and their cousines and their great-grandmothers, in a network of women together, like at the home-based home that was the hat store that we show you, that was of our grandmothers. That has to happen in every community, or this is a lost civilization, and probably a lost planet. If you are not a U.S. citizen, so-called citizen, and you're another nativity from other part of the world, let us hear from you. We'd like you to tell the people of North America how stupid they look to you. Do you have all of this technology and no balance of love and work? Do you have a huge army, but no arms to hold their children? It's incredibly stupid. Talk about the lack of the divine feminine. I've never seen anything like this in my life that I could have imagined could have occurred among college-educated people, that this could have been allowed. Even Google, who sponsors these Hangouts, their people in Europe get 3 years paid family leave. Their people here in many places get maybe a couple of weeks. And they're priding themselves on that in North America. That's a real crime against babies. That's a crime. And it's a crime against the divine feminine, the motherliness of women, the natural feelings that they have to their own little offspring. So go to 5050now.wordpress.com, and we'll be back with you in a while for another broadcast. And we hope you are learning something, because if you don't, and if you don't come and co-broadcast and co-hostess and co-host with us, this planet is toast. And our family came into being for no reason. Our lives are undone. We are simply as dust. And it was nice knowing you, but, you know, like the song says in Dr. Strangelove, we'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when. Do you want that? Or do you want to do something to prevent that? Share the new Millennial Golden Rule. Make it the way your community works. And bring it to all the members of your extended family in the manner of our Elysian Mysteries ceremony that we broadcast 3 times a day. And so we'll give you a screen share and let you think about this and go visit the website again.